So what foods are you able to consume during a detox? And what foods are going to help you along in this particular process? Fresh berries will be your number one choice for one of the most beneficial foods during a detox. And this will include raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries. Fresh in either one of these is going to be your best choice. But if you're unable to get fresh, you can always consume frozen, and it's best to consume all three of these. The next type of foods that you should be consuming are melons. And this will include watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, and other types of melons that fall in that category. Once again, fresh is going to be your best choice. However, if you live in an area where you're unable to get fresh of either one of these, watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, for example, then look for frozen. The next type of fruit I definitely would consume, and you should as well, is mango. Fresh mango is amazing for the detoxification process and will help keep you full along the way in this particular process. Once again, if you're unable to get fresh, frozen is your best choice, since that's better than nothing at all. Citrus is also great to consume, and this will consist of limes, lemons, oranges, and grapefruits. These should only be consumed in the same family. So for example, if you eat an orange, you could throw in a grapefruit. You could also have maybe some lemon water beforehand or after. Same thing with the limes. It's best to eat citrus together and keep it separate from the other fruits. Just a very important note. In the beginning of a detox, especially within the first 30 days, some people may notice more detox symptoms by consuming citrus fruits, such as the ones I just mentioned: limes, lemons, oranges, and grapefruits. So once again, it is best to eat a bowl of oranges and maybe a quarter of a grapefruit, and maybe have some lemon water afterwards or lime water. Strawberries are also okay to consume, but in moderation. The problem is that, as I mentioned briefly in the previous clip, citrus can have detox symptoms, so can strawberries. Other berries, such as raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries, are okay, but if you eat too many strawberries, as well as citrus, you could experience ulcers and other things happening as you're going along in this process and you consume too many. Just an FYI, when I'm referring to ulcers, I'm talking about mouth ulcers and things of that nature. This is typically not going to be ulcers inside of your body, but the detox process will bring out mouth ulcers and other painful issues that some people have had hidden deep in their body and may not experience a lot of symptoms. And unfortunately, these great tasting strawberries, organic or not, will unfortunately bring those out for some people. So for example, if you eat, let's say, 10 strawberries a day, and you do that for a week, you may start to get those symptoms. So you want to reduce your strawberry intake or cut it out for a few weeks if you notice that. Same thing with lemons, as well as other citrus, as I mentioned before. So if you're going to have lemon water, that's fine, but try not to put the strawberries in it as well. You may get the reactions and these detox symptoms much sooner, and they may come out, and these ulcers could be more painful. So again, that's a result of citrus, especially in the beginning of the detox. So just be warned with that. You don't have to cut them completely out, but maybe limit your strawberries, especially in the very beginning, to maybe 2 or 3 and see how that goes. Another fantastic food that I personally consume and definitely recommend in the detox is dark cherries. However, you can consume tart cherries. These are just be a little more bitter tasting. Some people may like them. You don't need to consume as many of the tart cherries as you would of the dark cherries. And the particular dark cherries are a much sweeter type of cherry. If you've had those, or maybe you've had something that was in a glass jar put on a birthday cake. Those are not the ones that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fresh ones, or if you can't find them fresh, frozen. These are definitely going to be something that will add some flavor, and this is something that has a lot of antioxidants and other benefits that are going to help you during the process. Same as tart cherries. Just tart cherries, you're not gonna need as many. Maybe about half or a quarter of what you could eat of these. So, for example, you could consume maybe 8 to 10 dark cherries in a bowl of fruit, especially with other berries such as blackberry, raspberry, and blueberries, versus you could maybe do 5 of the tart cherries, or maybe just 2 or 3. Other fruits, such as sweet fruits, are also great to consume during the detoxification process. This will include pineapple, apples, grapes, and coconuts, as well as bananas. And yes, you can consume the inside of the coconut as well as drink the highly nutritious water. The coconut meat is also highly nutritious, so keep that in mind. If you do want to consume kiwis, that's part of it as well. You could throw in some pears, plums, so pretty much anything on here is okay to consume, as well as a few avocados for fats. The inside of the coconut also is great for fats. Herbs are also great to consume during the detoxification process. This includes fresh herbs and dried herbs. Dried herbs actually are a little more powerful, about 3 times more powerful because they're concentrated than fresh herbs. But any fresh herbs such as parsley, cilantro, dill, basil, thyme, oregano, all of these, pretty much anything on here is going to be great to consume, whether it's fresh or dried. Just make sure they are organic, whether it's fresh or dried. You want to make sure that these are high quality. You don't want these to be grown with a lot of pesticides. These herbs are definitely very fragile, and you want to make sure that these are the highest quality. Fresh greens are also going to help during the process. But remember, you want to keep at least 80% of your diet fresh fruits, but then you could put maybe 10% in herbs and about 10% in greens, or you could do 90% fruit, 5% greens, 5% herbs. Somewhere around that kind of ballpark figure is what you want to kind of go by. You really don't want to consume all greens and very little fruit. So I just want everyone to understand that. So Swiss chard, you could do some bok choy, even dandelion greens. There's already parsley on here that was in the herb category. So you could do kale. You could do broccoli if you can handle that raw. Some people can't. But the easiest ones for most people would be dandelion green, Swiss chard, bok choy, somewhere around that nature. Kale is okay as well. you just don't want to do a lot of that. But any of those in a salad should be fine. And it's best to make your own dressing, or you could use something that I personally like, which is from a company called Primal Kitchen, where they don't have any canola oil, soybean oil, none of that nonsense, and they use almond oil. So that's just a suggestion, but it's best to make it at home, fresh by you. You could also do salad green mixes. We have the 50-50 or the herb salad mix, as I'm showing here. The only problem with that is right now there's salmonella outbreaks and other types of bacteria. How that's happening, I'm not sure, but if you grow this on your own, this would be your best bet. The other greens I mentioned typically don't have this problem. It's the ones that come in the plastic container is what I'm talking about, that expire in about a week or so. These are still great and can be consumed. Just remember to keep the 80% fresh fruit rule, as I mentioned previously in the other clips. That's something you really want to make sure that you continue to do. Other than that, keep moving forward. Wish you all the best, and just keep going along in this process, and it will all continue to not only pay off for you, but you'll start feeling the difference as time goes on. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.